Alright guys, and last but not least, for at least the naming videos, is going to be the acids. So remember, with ionic compounds, we can identify them by starting with metals or polyatomic ions. The covalents we can recognize by having both non-metals, and then acids we can recognize by the infamous H at the beginning of them. I did it again, there we go. H is what starts all acidic compounds, so we have HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, etc. H2S. All those are acids, and we can know that by the hydrogen starting out on all of them. Now, notice some of the acids have oxygen, like H2SO4 and HNO3, and some of them do not have oxygen, like HCl and H2S. Those are the difference between a binary and an oxyacid. So those are our two different types of acids. We do name them differently. Binary, we always have the prefix hydro. We have the root name of the element that's in it, and ic. So HCl is hydro, Cl is chlorine, so chloric, and then of course these always end in the second word acid. Same with H2SO4, hydro, S, sorry, not H2SO4, H2S, hydro, S, sulfur, so sulfic or sulfuric, either one is acceptable, and again, acid. So that's these two. Okay, those are binary acids, meaning they do not have oxygen in it. The oxyacids we're going to pull from our polyatomic ion list. So you will need to look at your polyatomic ion list or find one online for right now. I will be posting one on the website probably shortly, so you do have it already ready to go. But you'll need to look at the ending. If the ending of the polyatomic ion is 8, we change the ending to ic. We basically take off ate and add ic. If it ends in ite, we change it to ous. So H2SO4, SO4 is sulfate. So what it becomes is sulfic, or again, sulfuric, and we add the name acid. Notice the difference here is that hydro part. There is no hydro here because it has oxygen. Hydro basically means there is no oxygen in this compound. So if there is no hydro, there is an oxygen in the compound. If there is hydro, there is no oxygen in the compound. And yes, I know that can be a little bit confusing. That's something you're just going to have to make sure you understand. NO3 is nitrate. So nitrate becomes nitric, and then again, acid. Let's put one up here that is going to end in OUS. Let's say we have BrO2. Well, BrO2 is bromite. Ite becomes us, so it becomes bromus. And of course, acid is our second word. Always make sure you have acid at the end of this. Always make sure they start with hydrogen. Make sure you also notice that these numbers here are coming from charges. We do use charges with acids, unlike covalent. It's basically like an ionic compound. So let's say we are looking at a different compound or a different element. Let's say we're looking at a name. And let's say we're looking at hydronitric acid. Okay? First off, notice the keyword acid. That means it is starting with hydrogen. Also notice the hydro. That means there's no oxygen in the compound, which means nitric is nitrogen. Well, nitrogen has a -3 charge. Hydrogen has a +1 charge in this case because it's the first element. Okay, cross and swap, just like we were doing. H3N. Okay, let's say we're looking at carbonic acid. Again, notice the key word here is acid. That means it starts with hydrogen. Carbonic, there's no hydro, which means we're going to look at our polyatomic ion list. Well, carbonic, it came from 8, which means it's actually carbonate, which is CO3 -2. Okay, hydrogen still +1, so cross and swap these down, and carbonic acid is H2CO3. Okay, and the same would be true as if we had a sulfurous acid or sulfus acid, either one. Some people add the UR, some people don't, it just depends. Okay, again, no hydro, which means polyatomic ion. It ends in OUS, which means it was sulfite, which is SO3 -2. Acid tells us hydrogen. Cross and swap, H2, SO3 is our compound. Okay, so that's basically it for acids. We've gone over ionic, we've gone over covalent, and we've gone over acid compounds. So this is what you need to know for the naming quiz that is on Friday, August 8th. If you have questions, you know where I am, and we can always find some extra practice for you to work on. I can pull some more worksheets from last year or the year before whenever you were in chemistry. So you got plenty of stuff to get help on this. So feel free to come talk to me, and we'll get whatever you need going. Thanks, guys.